Good evening. I'm Epstein with your SPDR ETF stock market wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for Tuesday, the 22nd of August, 2023. And what a day. You know, I guess it pays to either be an airplane pilot or a UPS driver because both have now ratified their contracts and big raises coming both their ways, inflationary. And I'm not saying they don't deserve it, I'm just saying inflationary. Next, we saw at the end of the day, Toll Brothers come out. So here's a housing builder, earnings right up through, but understand who they're dealing with. Toll Brothers is the creme de la creme. So they're getting the rich people, they're getting the people that can afford a higher mortgage if they even need one. And their backlog is growing, and that's the good news. And do remember, there's not a lot of new homes out there. In fact, the inventory's amazingly light right now, and I think you all know that. And people have to get used to paying mortgages in the 7% range for a while. Could they go to 8? They could. The other thing that's starting to happen is we're seeing the retailers all coming in, and we hear the shrink statement. You know what that is? I want you to think of it the way that I think of it. Theft. It's the best way to put it. I go in a Home Depot. Now, certain areas are locked down. You go to Walgreens in Chicago, it's unbelievable how many things are locked. You got to be pushing that button all the time to get to somebody. Grocery stores. Where I shop, there are people everywhere looking that you're checking out the right way. So we're seeing this just over and over. And is it a sign of the times? It is. What really happens is those that don't have want things, and in order to get them, if they can't buy them, they go out and get them a different way. That's what we keep hearing. As for the consumer and spending, I find it hard to believe he's as strong as you want me to believe or analysts want me to believe. These interest rates are taking a toll on credit cards. They're taking a toll on everything else around them. We still haven't seen the people that have the student debt. They're going to be hurt soon. So we're going to see more and more pressure. But the elephant in the room in the stock market, and there is an elephant, it's Nvidia. And tomorrow after the close, we're going to get their numbers. Now, I've seen one analyst that's out there, $800 for the share. You heard me, 800 is what they're expecting. I have seen people that say, something, they pulled forward a lot of their future earnings. We know that the demand for their goods are good, but how far did they pull? And at these type of PE ratios, which are unbelievably high by any stretch, does the market get an overvaluation, or is it such a story that the market doubles from here? I don't know which one it is, all right? I believe that AI, I think their company is unique. I think they're the creme de la creme. I think everybody wants their chip. I don't think they can make them fast enough. I think they have pricing power. So I'm certainly not in the bear camp, but we're going to cover this in a moment because nothing changes on a chart. Resistance points are resistance points, support. Do you go into an earnings company like this one that is, it's basically the role right now of the stock market. It's almost like the Fed when we talk interest rates. They're the role of interest rates. For the time being, Nvidia is everybody's darling. So let's go to it and see what we have here. If you take a look, you can see how the market still got the pattern of higher lows, higher highs. It went to a new high today, hit 481.74, and now the market, what's it trying to do? Give a little bit of a correction. The pattern on the swing line, bullish, higher low, higher high. The support on breaks, I'm guessing, is going to come in at the 18-day average at 444.32. I would imagine professional traders won't want to see it under 416.60. Where do you think the resistance would be? It's certainly not one of these moving averages. They're all underneath the market. So where's the Bollinger Band? The Bollinger Band is right here. What did the market go to? And you tell me where it stopped against. You don't have to believe in these bands. I do. And I do to the tune that it is not a spot to go short. I'm going to say that over and over. It is a spot if you were bullish and you caught the move to take some money off the table so you have re-entry points below you and you've got cash to work with. We are not the type, all of us, that just have unlimited funds, okay? That's not what we really do. And this is still a vehicle that is in a trading vehicle status. Got up to Bollinger Bands, failed. Went to the Bollinger Band, failed. Went up to the Bollinger Band. You're going back and forth in here. You haven't broken out of that. Momentum-wise, when you got up there today, you were in overbought territory. You finished at 69.86 down because you were down 3% on the day. But when you went up there to the new high, I was watching it, you were in the 70s in the slow stochastic, hitting the upper band. It's exactly what I teach in my enhanced Bollinger Band course. Go to Epstein.com. Under the word education, it's all there for you. Now in Rivian, market getting hit, but I have been telling you, I've said it now for a week minimum. I thought the market was going to make a run back to the 200-day average. I haven't changed my opinion. You have a bearish embedded reading. The market's failing up here. I'm looking for that. And then if that gives ground, maybe you open the door to 1759 to 1823. So I can see this backing off. The market up here, they did better. They were getting more cars out, but they had pulled forward that, and the market's giving up on that for the moment. On the gasoline fund, still not getting that seasonal to the upside. Now, they tried all day long in the futures to break the market, didn't do a good job. You're in oversold territory. On this particular break, I question if you're really going to get under 69.10 for a big move. I heard something today that was very bothersome. And if you go to Tankers Tracker, and it's a way to track the big, if you will, oil rigs that are out there, the oil tankers, not rigs, tankers. And they were on CNBC today talking that according to all their numbers, a year ago at this time, Iran was pumping 1.24 million barrels a day. This month, they're over 2 million. They've gone up 1 million. The argument this analyst has is he's going, well, we all think the Saudis with their 1 million barrel a day cut, they've done that. If Iran's coming back with 1 million barrels a day, have you really got a cut in the market? And his argument, I just want to make it, and it was a good argument, is that no, supply is bigger than you think and demand is shrinking a bit right now. Is China's contracting? I think you'd agree with that. They're sort of in an implosion is the word I'd like to use. And other economies are contracting. Speaking of that, remember the BRICS conference is going on in Johannesburg, so we will see just what comes out of that. Remember, that is a coalition that's basically against the United States and Western governments. They want to have more influence for themselves. They'd love to have their own currencies. They don't have the U.S. dollar, so on and so forth. We do business with all those countries, by the way, but the rich countries are always hated. That's the way the world goes. In XLF, you have an embedded reading, still bearish. You've locked in and you're just dropping each day on the lower Bollinger Band. That's called the Gorilla Glue trade. And it's just like you get married to that and you come down. Now, I am looking for support to be very sudden and abrupt at 33.35. So I'm looking for that. Now, that's the financial services. Did you watch Charles Schwab today? It got hit about 5%. And that's because at the end of the day, the market is treating Schwab not as a stock broker, but as a bank. And they are in large part. They offer banking. They pay out interest on money. They have to attract money, pay more. So what Schwab's doing, they're shutting offices. They're laying off people where they can. They're going to restructure and hone in. They'll be fine in the end. It's a great company. But you can't get away from the fact that if you're a financial services company and these rates are going up and banks don't want to lend, you read the articles, I hope, yesterday were all over financial journals that even jumbo mortgage rates, the banks aren't so eager to give them to you the way that they used to. In XLI, the industrial sector, I just keep looking at the numbers that come out, and I'm seeing nothing good in industry. I see the service sector is okay. Now, tomorrow we're going to get some reports on manufacturing and service sector. We'll see if they improve or where they're at, if it's going to run the trend. Still weakness in the manufacturing and still strength in the service sector is what I expect to see. I think it's S&P's numbers, the preliminaries. Lower highs, lower lows in AMC. So I was talking to you for the longest period of time, and you know that I said this up here, and I said, I think this is a $2 stock. You're today hit 246, and you were up here at 5.25. You've halved the market, and I did it. Now, I do know they're going to merge. I think it's any day coming up now. And the APE shares will go into this, and then eventually they'll have the reverse split. What is the price going to be? If the price comes in at $4, anything here, 2.5, then it's going to be between 40 and 25. That's enough, okay? Because they've got a price value high enough where if they go out and take on some more debt, it's one thing. Will they do more dilution by issuing more shares? They might. Are you foolish to buy them long term? In my opinion, I'm not giving you the advice, but I know the movie business, movie theater business, there will be survivors. They can't make money the way that they're doing. I'll give them a secret, and I keep telling you, go to your operator at your AMC and say, can you call management and tell them, why don't we on movies that are over 2 hours, give us a 15-minute break to go to the washroom and buy some more condiments? They'll make more money. It's a pretty easy deal. All right. In coin, still breaking down, still a bearish embedded reading. You think I'm friendly to that? You know better than that. And where could it go? Maybe the 70-42 area to the 69-62 zone. So that, did I say 69? Yeah, the Bollinger Band and that number. That's probably it. No good news coming out of this. Again, how does it fight? Crypto, Ether, Coinbase, how do you fight as interest rates just keep moving up, the dollar is strong, and you want to own these vehicles? You can't use them for anything that's about speculation, not at this point at least. In XHB, so remember what I said. It's one thing to be a Toll Brothers. It's a very different thing to be the rest of the group. Got it? So the rest of the group, they're caught. Okay, I'm building middle-class homes, and I need to get a buyer in. He doesn't want to leave his house for his 3% mortgage to pick up a mortgage at 7.25%. It's a rough time for me, and I don't want to build a spec home. Who am I going to sell it to? The carrying cost every day. They're no longer free interest for all purposes like it was a year ago. It's a whole different game. This is the dilemma that they're in, and you're seeing it. This is a classic bear market right now. On the energy sector, pay attention to what I said about Iran. I think it's important. If the market starts breaking here under the 87.15 level, I'd get concerned. That could be the sign that the market, that the facts that we heard today are very real, might be going down to 85.53. In the gold market, you can see how the market's still with an embedded reading. Still therefore in the bear camp. I am concerned that this is the first move under the 200-day average, and often markets don't like to stay very long on the first challenge of them. Now, if it's going to stay here a longer period of time, what it's going to wait then for is for the 18-day average to crisscross this number. Then you're entering real bear territory. So we'll see, but that's my analysis on it. In the silver market, I got caught, and I mentioned it to you the other day. The slow stochastic popped, and I overstood my hand, okay? Didn't get hurt. Lost some money, yes, but not hurt. I mean, it's not like I sold the bottom coming out at the top. Not that for my clients, and that was the recommendations for them. You get winners, you get losers, okay? Nobody walks on water. I wish it were the case, but you can see right here the momentum loss. This is why I think that course is so important. And I was gone. I just said, I think it's going to get worse. It did. That's all I can say. In copper, you're on the verge of losing the bearish embedded reading. You were flirting with it all day long. I had told clients, you know something, as bearish as I am, you were in the 20 level. And I said, nah, I think I'm going to put my hands in my pocket today, enjoy the one position that I have them in these markets, they're in an ETF on the short side, by the way. And let's see if that goes for us any further. In TLT, well, how do you fight this? I mean, you've got the Fed every day going into the market, 50 billion, 80 billion, and they got to pay up in order to get people to keep buying. You don't have the Fed in there buying instruments, they're letting them roll off. That is what you call shrinking the balance sheet. So everything that comes due, they're not in the market supporting anything. So you're fighting with the Fed, and they go to a level that they can sell these numbers at, and people are happy to buy them. A lot of people want 5% money, 17-week money that makes you near 5% or more. Come on, this is big stuff. UUP. Dollar still bullish. I still have clients that are in the futures, especially there. And eventually they'll get stopped out, but not yet. And where can it go? It goes until it can't go anymore. And I know that people have a hard time. One of the areas I'd look for in this market's 28.93, the upper Bollinger Band. Lose the embedded reading. You got to come out. That's when the correction can set in. FXE, I think it's time now down here that some people took some money off the table. You got to 100.06, right? The Bollinger Band's 100.05. Close enough, folks. You don't need to be exact. Still an embedded reading. Good rallies are going to be sold, and what else? You're about to get a bearish crossover where the 100-day average in red is going to get underneath the green. That's another bearish number. This is a market I didn't expect this from, but I respect the chart. When I was here, I said, I am wrong in trying to be friendly. I think it was over here, actually. And I said, not going to happen. I remember I went out with my buddy that came in from Spain. We went out to Ralph Lauren's restaurant in Chicago. If you're ever here for lunch and so on, what a gorgeous room. Go there. You'll love it. It's right downtown. And I had said, I think I'm still bearish on the dollar. Well, I'm not. I've been talking bullish, but I was wrong at that point. And that's the important thing. You got to remember where you were wrong. What did the chart look like? Blah, blah, blah. Now, where the opportunities are, and you know it, it's in these micro stock indices. And that's what people are trading up a storm. If you looked at the CME group stock, if you looked at the volume they're doing, these are 1/10 the size of the regular, and they dominate all the volume. So you need 1/10 the margin. The risk is 1/10 the normal size. This is how it works. The commissions are exceptionally low in them, and the valuations are good. The full contract's $50 a point. This is $5. So if the market goes from 4,000 to 4,100, it's 100 points, it's $500, not 5,000. That's a pretty good move, all right? You can see the minimum tick. Most people can live with something like this. And the volatility, it is here. Self-directed, plus our exchange and NFA, which we can't control, $1 aside. So if you're interested in that, call my staff. They'll work with you. Tell them what you're looking to do. They'll help you get yourself going. 866-973. And you've got the rest of the number there. I'm Ira. You have a great day, and I will talk to you later.